Hi, it's Gary. Welcome to today's live stream. So what is it? It's the 4th of May, Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. I love my Star Wars references. How's everyone doing today? Hopefully you can all hear me all right. I can see my mic going up. If it's too loud, let me know so I can adjust the volume as we're going along. So let's head on over with the weather report. There we go. Let's get that up and then we'll switch over to Safari. So at the moment here it's 18 Celsius, that's 64 Fahrenheit. Still getting nice days. I mean, we're still hitting 27, 28 by the time we get into the main part of the day. So 28 is 82 Fahrenheit. So not exactly cold. Absolutely feeling it, although I'm being brave today, as you can't see, but now as you hopefully can see. I'm wearing my t-shirt, not bothering with a jumper today. Past couple of days, not needed that pullover, that jumper. Let's jump on into the comments. Loads of comments already. Awesome, I love seeing comments. So we got thumbs up from Marcy Me. Welcome to you, Marcy Me. David, hello from Central Texas, where it's a beautiful 75 Fahrenheit or 23.8 Celsius after a rainy, stormy Friday. Yeah, we had some rain last night. It was meant to be happening during the day, but it was only happened overnight, which was actually quite nice. So we didn't have to worry too much about it. Elaine was happy because it was sheet day and she got all the sheets cleaned. David, hello. Hey, Marcy. David again took a road trip to Houston and visited Drumgools and traded a couple of pens I wasn't using and some cash for a new Mont Blanc Burgundy Solitaire calligraphy pen. Wow, that sounds nice. Yeah, I know you like your Mont Blanc pens there, David. Jim, hello from Harper's Ferry, where it's 67 Fahrenheit on 19.4 Celsius. And there's a hi to David. Steve, Saturday in Utah was perfect. Welcome to you, Steve. Also, welcome to Jim. I forgot to say that, didn't I? And I should be fired. I can hear myself talking on the other computer, so I know that sound's coming through. Tom, greetings from Northridge in California. Welcome to you, Tom. And Teresa, hello, Gary and everyone. Welcome to you again, Teresa. David, hey, Jim. Let me just move the mouse. There we are. David, hey, Jim. Teresa, it's cool and rainy in North Carolina. Yeah, and I think it's nice sometimes when you get that cool weather. You know, the heat can be so oppressive. And unlike when it's cold, I'm not sure if I've said this before, when it's cold, it's all right. You can wrap up and put an extra layer or two on. But when it's hot, there's only so much you can take off without getting arrested. Jim, we just had a thunderstorm. I love thunderstorms. Unfortunately, around here, we don't get that many. There are quite a few, but they never seem to come over. Same with the rain, very rarely comes over the suburb I live in. But if we stand at the doors, we can see it going on around, so we know it's there. Blonde Scales 1, hello from Arkansas. Welcome to you, Blonde Scales 1. And Marie, hi from Michigan. Welcome, Marie. Then we got from Teresa a couple of hellos there. Ricardo, good morning. It's a nice sunny Saturday here in London. Welcome to you, Ricardo. I think it's a public holiday, bank holiday over in the UK. I think tomorrow, or Monday, should I say, is May Day from memory. That's how long it is since I've lived in the UK. I did suggest to the wife the other day when we realized when we thought it was going to be May Day, I said, "Shall we put a washing pole up and tie some ribbons and dance around it?" And she said some very rude words to me that I didn't understand what them words meant because they were that rude. So hello, welcome to you, Ricardo. Jim, hi all, raining hard in GA. Welcome to you, Jim. A place called Mitcham. For 8 years, I actually worked in London. I worked for a number of years. Actually, I'm going to say it's within the city limits, not for the city of London, but actually within the city limits. And I was lucky. I had a window seat, and it overlooked the Thames. And I do remember watching avidly over quite a period of time. As the barges were going down, taking the bits that would eventually be put together to make the London Eye. So that was transported down the Thames. So I quite enjoyed watching that as they were going by, sat at my desk in front of a computer. Reminiscing a bit there. I think London's nice, to be honest, all times of year. Even in the winter, it's nice because it doesn't really get over, you get mucky, but not overly slippy and cold. Ricardo, it's a bit hotter than normal. Blonde Scales 1, I'm not ready for summer. I'll tell you something, I'm ready for winter. It's been, I've got to be honest, I don't think it's been as hot as it has in the past few years. It's just the heat has stretched out longer, so it seems to be going a lot longer. 1 second. So Teresa, to Blonde Scales 1, me either. Ricardo, it will be on Monday, May Day. So let's do that. So I've had time to, I've been playing a bit this week. I'm just leaving while more comments come on. So as you know, I've got the new mics. You would have had the first video with the new mic setup came out on Friday. I think my intro and outro, I record them separately. I'm actually going to be recording the intro and outro for next week's videos today. Just because it makes it a bit easier when I'm actually doing it. So I don't have to be messing around with camera setups and changing everything around when it comes to doing those. So I'd done them, I believe, with the old Blue Yeti. But the main part of the video, that was done using the new mic setup. Now that I processed it, I wasn't 100% happy with the processing. To me, it sounded still a bit echoey. But so I've tweaked it a little bit more since then. And I think that's going to be happening over the next few weeks. I'll be doing little tweaks here and there. I think I've got this sound more or less where I like it, but I'd love to hear from people, certainly based on Friday's video, what you thought about the way that I've got the sound coming through there. I've also been playing with the intro videos this week. So I use a package called DaVinci Resolve. And in there, there's a module called Fusion, which is like a motion type, animation type. Try how best to, so like does to do like graphics. So I've been playing around with that. I'm trying to learn it. So I'm obviously playing with that. I'm doing a lot. I'm going to take these glasses off for a second. I need to put them on for reading, but not for actually talking. So yeah, I've been playing around with this Fusion. Now everything's out of focus. I don't know. Old age, isn't it bad for you? Anyway, so I've been playing around with that. So you'll see some new intros. Not 100% set on them. I don't like the background as much as I'd like. It's all right, but I may try playing around with that. But it's just something I'm playing around with. So over the next few weeks, you'll see that evolving as well. Pardon me. You'll see the first first attempts later on in this morning. Blonde Scales 1, I think I feel the heat more than I used to. Yeah, I know what you're saying there as well. What I find it's not so much the heat, it's the humidity which gets me. So even now, we're getting into that thing where most of the day is fine till about 4 o'clock, and that seems to be when the humidity kicks in, and it just becomes unbearable for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. Then the humidity goes again, and it's not bad, it's weird. So yeah, Ricardo, the audio is fine on this live. Brilliant, thanks for that, Ricardo. Blonde Scales 1, got a new toy this week. What did you get, Blonde Scales 1? Are you happy to share it? That's all the comments. My talking subject, so I thought we'll do a very quick talky one today. We haven't done this for a while. I thought we'd go through one of my pen trays. So here's random.org. I've got 20 trays. Let's generate a random number 9. So here I've got tray number 9. This will be a quick one. There's only 3 pens. In fact, there's only 2 pens, because one of them I wouldn't really call a pen. But anyway, let me just close this and go back to my face. So here's tray number 9. There you go. And this one is Misc. Some miscellaneous ones. Let's take a look at what's in here. So the first one I'm saying, which isn't really a pen, it's just something I got ages and ages ago. It was a cheap calligraphy set, so this is the pen part of it. I've got to be honest, I've hardly used it. There's the cartridge. You can see I've only used... I need to give that a clean out and then put some ink into it. Oh, helps if I get in the camera. There we go. So that's the first one. That was, yeah, I'd say it was a cheap calligraphy set. Oh, I've just knocked one of my mics. There we go. Pop that back up there. That's my desk mic. So I've always got the desk with a mic on it now. So hopefully that'll help with listening to the writing. Excuse me. Right, first up is a freebie pen. This is a Noodler's Charlie. I think... Sorry, I'm going to have to just mute the mic. And I'm back. Sorry about that. My nose is playing me up again. I should get a new nose, I think. So yeah, we've got the Noodler's Charlie here. You know, it was a freebie. I'd bought a bottle of Heart of Darkness and it came with that. So there's a little nib on there. Have used it once, but not really used it since. And then got another one which was bought about 4 years ago from AliExpress. I just call this the AliExpress wood grain because there was no name on it. It literally was just like a wood grain pen. I actually do quite like this wood grain. Can't really see it there. Let me see what we're like on the iPhone. There you go. I can see that a bit better now, that wood grain. Let me move the tray out of the way. I've chucked it on the floor because this is the last pen. So there we go. Nice little bit of scroll work there. Cap pulls off. I was just unscrewing everything there. So little teeny tiny nib. I think it was something like $5, something like that. It was dirt cheap. And I don't think it came with a converter. If it has, I've already pulled it out. Yeah, let's just tap that. No. I have used this a couple of times, so I think it would just take like a standard converter. Again, not one I use a lot, so I'm not overly fussed. Let's go back to the webcam. So yeah, it's actually quite nice, that. I quite like it. I'll pop that there. So that's going through today, the pen tray. I'll pop all that back later on before the wife catches it. Blonde Scales 1, got a new smartphone, a Samsung Galaxy. Awesome. I had a Galaxy, I want to say about it was a Note I had. I think it was the Note 4, that's how long ago it was. I like the idea of what they are. I like Android. It was just what put me off. The battery life was just horrendous. And the updates, to get updates, you had to wait so long because Google would release an update and then Telstra, which is who I was with at the time, before they would let you put it on your phone, they had to test it themselves, and that could take months. So yeah, you know, security updates were coming out and not getting applied. Now I know it's been changed a little bit, but yeah. Ricardo, Cult Pens in the UK's got a sale to commemorate their anniversary. I'm getting a new Sailor Pro Gear Slim Iris Nebula with a broad nib. Yeah, I saw that Cult Pens were having that sale. Unfortunately, at the moment, I'm not in the market because obviously getting the mic set took my budget for this month. And then my budget resets about the 24th of this month. Is when I get, you know, some new budget into there. If it's still got the sale on, I may look at it then. I've got a couple of pens that I'm eyeing up, and I quite like Cult Pens. I think their customer service is very good. Blonde Scales 1, I need to check out their birthday sales. Absolutely. Teresa, Gary, do you have any new favourite inks? I've gotten the best ink suggestions from you. Thanks for that. Diamine All the Best is now one of my favourite inks. So to be honest, because I'm on that ink buying freeze, so I'm not really buying ink. So all I'm getting is the ink vent and the colour vent ones. I absolutely love, my favourite ink, full stop, is from this year's ink vent, or last year's ink vent, should I say, and that's Sleigh Ride. And that's the one I'm waiting patiently for them to release the full bottle sets, and then I'll be buying one. I don't think it's on here today, but somebody on the chat has actually sent me the money through Google, not through YouTube, to actually buy it. So he's buying it for me, and I very, very much appreciate that. But yeah, I absolutely love Sleigh Ride, and at the moment I'm having to ration its use. Otherwise, I think it would be in every single pen I've got. What other ones am I liking? Diamine Bliss is one I like. Again, that's from a few years ago. That was the ink vent. I like, from the colour vent, I think it was Milky Way. It's the purple one with the shimmer. And it is one of the ones which they're going to be releasing a full bottle of later on this year. So I do quite like that. But yeah, I think Sleigh Ride is just nice. I mean, Grotto's all right, which is very similar, but it's more orangey. But Sleigh Ride, I don't know what it is about it. It just, first time I saw it, it was, wow, this is such a nice ink. So yeah, hopefully that helps a little bit. I have recorded this month's ink comparison. There I'm comparing, what am I comparing? Colourverse Dante's Cosmology and Pure Pen's John Frost. John Frost's a nice ink. That's a tealing, and it's got a nice red sheen. Dante's Cosmology is, I don't know, would you call it a blue-black? Again, I quite like it. It's actually, we've had a federal election here. The actual election was yesterday, but I went and did early voting. Here, when you go to vote, they give you a pencil, which I think is really, really bad. They give you a pen, or there's a pencil tied to the polling booth for you to use if you want to. I think using pencil is really bad, because I know it won't happen, and I know the chance, or should I say, I know the chance of it happening is very, very, very small. But I always think to myself, well, if it's in pencil, somebody could alter it. So I take my yellow pen with me. So this time to vote, I took my Lamy Safari with Colourverse Dante's Cosmology in it. I also took a backup pen. I took a Jinhao 100 with a blue ink that I can't remember what it is at the moment. But yeah, I used my Safari. I tell you, voting here is horrible. In the UK, you just put an X for whoever you want to vote for. Here, there's two votes. You vote for the Senate, and also for like the what essentially I'll say is the MP. With the MP one, there was 6 people, so you have to number them in your preference from 1 to 6. And then with the Senate one, the paper was about this long, and there you had to either above the line pick at least, I think it was at least 12, or it might have been at least 12. Below the line, you had to pick even more if you wanted to vote below the line. It's really, really horrible. It's such a nasty experience, and I wish they would fetch in electronic voting, but to do that, it needs a change in the law here. So anyway, yeah, I got a bit off topic there. Jim, the wood grain pen you're showing, I got a pair of them for a Christmas present. I ended up changing the nibs in both of them. Yeah, I've not really bothered doing much with it because it looks nice, but not really jumped at me. Jim, journalism didn't win the derby today, so no new pens for me. That's a shame. So just having a mouthful of tea. I didn't show my mug. We go. It's the Avengers. See, they've started filming the next Avengers movie. Quite looking forward to that. Blonde Scales 1, it was a nice and muddy track. Inertia 4, welcome to you. Hey now, Leonardo has a new silver aluminium Memento Zero. It's not out yet, sometime this month. I may think about that one because it's different. I do like my Leonardos. You may have noticed if you watched the video on Friday, which was my pens in use for this month, I'm actually using 3 Leonardos. So I've got in there, I've got the Ferrari, the Magico and the Momento Zero Grande. I haven't bought any more other than those because I said there's none really grabbed me. But the thought of maybe an aluminium one, yeah, I will have a look at that. Teresa, I'll put Sleigh Ride on my list. You'll see Sleigh Ride later on because it is in one of my pens for the week. Blonde Scales 1, I bought a bottle of Bliss. Yeah, I do like Bliss. It's a really nice, I don't know, is it like a turquoisey, aquary, pale blue? I don't know. I'm a bloke. Red, yellow, blue, green, that's about it. So yeah, pale blue. Blonde Scales 1, we've got electronic voting machines here. Oh, you're so lucky, I tell you, it's such a nightmare. And then Jim, I've got a couple of vintage Swans coming. One is a 1060 leverless. The other is an eyedropper. That sounds interesting. I've never seen Swans. Let me make a note. Okay, let's head over for the first of the new titles, the Pen of the Week. So hopefully that wasn't too loud, although according to my thing, it had no sound. Oh yeah, it did. All right. So hopefully you like the new music and new title. Let's turn this around. So pens for the week of May the 3rd, which was yesterday. Remember, I've got a mic down on the table, so with any luck, if I remember to shut it when I'm writing, you might be able to actually hear the pens write. So my pen of the week was the Conklin Durograph, and this has got Diamine Walnut in it. This is the forest version. This pen was a complete nightmare. It would write maybe half a page, sometimes even just a sentence, and then stop writing. And I would either have to give it a really good shake, which would maybe get me a few more words, or prime the feed, which would get me quite a lot more. I'd tried changing the nib. I've put different nibs on it, not a change. So what I've done this week, I started the week with what it came with, and yet it was giving me that same problem. So on Tuesday, I swapped, and what I did is I took the nib and feed out of my Monteverde Ritmer, which writes really well, and I popped it into here. And since then, I've not had an issue. One of the things that I've done though, I have got the feed, I don't know if you can see there, I've got the feed virtually all the way down, just in about the right spot. But yeah, with this Monteverde feed, so far it's been fine. Let's see if it writes now though. So we've got the, no, oh yeah, there we go. Conklin, oh no. See, this is what it was like before. Let me just, I haven't used this, I've got to be honest, since Friday. So I've not fully fixed it. I'm just scribbling away. No, let me just prime the feed. Well, let's double check first. Is there ink in it? There should be. Yeah, there's plenty of ink in there. Just prime that feed. I'm doing this off to the side. All right. Let's see what we get now. So, there we go. Conklin Durograph. And the nib on here is a broad. Price for this, you're looking roughly 157 Aussie dollars. And the ink is by Diamine. I did shut up there for the ink name. Diamine Walnut. As I say, I quite like this combo. And it does seem to be writing better, but I need to play around more with it. So let's head on to the rest of the pens for the week. So, First pen for the week. I say I've got 3 Leonardos. This is the first, the Leonardo Furore in white salt. Gorgeous pen, captured converter there. This will be out of ink, I would think maybe by this time next week. I'll have to see how I go with it. It's very nice though, it's a nice fit in the hand. It's got that older style section that I like. The price for this, about 245 Aussie dollars. See, I remember to shut up when I was writing. So this is 1.1 stub. It's nice. What I do find though is it does catch a little bit on the edges. I know I could smooth them, but it actually gives me a really nice tactileness to it. So I actually quite like it. But I could smooth them down a little bit if I wanted to. So that's the Leonardo Furore. Number 2 from Leonardo is the Magico. This is in the meal or the honey pattern. Again, very, very nice. Piston filling pen. Very large ink window, which is one of the things I do like about this. Here we've got the Leonardo nib. So let's write. Price wise, you're looking about 272 Aussie dollars. And then the ink. I'm hoping that the desk mic is able to catch the sound of these writing because I really like it. It's got that beautiful whisper to it. So that's a Leonardo Magico. Let's move this up ever so slightly. The next one, the final Leonardo of today. This is the Memento Zero Grande. This is the original one. It's not one of the 2.0s. I love this dark Hawaii pattern. It's like a spaghetti pattern. We've got mainly blues, but then we get browns coming in and a bit of like whitey silver, and it's really pretty. It's the Grande version, so it's the big version. It's a piston filler, no ink window. So this is one of my issues with this. I just do not know how much ink I've got left in it. It was my first expensive pen. I got it after trying out the Marjon M800s, which were the same shape and size as the Memento Zero line. We'll actually see an M800 shortly. It's got that older style section. I do like this section. It's a shame they've moved away from it. So let's write. So there's a medium nib on there, and price wise, 377 Aussie dollars. The ink by Colourverse. Very nice blue ink with a red sheen, this Pulsar Pulse. I quite like it. So there we go, that's the Leonardo. So from a $377 pen, we're going to take a massive jump. Absolutely humongous jump to $3.80. This is the Gin House Shark, one of the gifts from my wife as part of my Inky Countdown of last year. It's a green one. I do like this. It's such a funny pen. Not sure if it's a pen I would take out to a business meeting with me, but for use at home, it's really good. I've noticed this the other day though, bits of the plastic are starting to chip away already. So I've just left that. I'll file that off later on with like a nail file or something. Cartridge converter opens up in a weird funny place. And let's just agitate it a bit because in here I do have a chameleon ink. Fairly small nib, looks to me like a Lamy style nib. I may try and see if I can pop one of my Lamy nibs on here, but not now. I'm quite liking this as it is. So we've got here a Price for this, I've already told you. It's massive, $3.80. The ink, I normally see a fair bit of the chameleon coming through with this, and with it being a fine nib, I'm actually a little bit surprised that I'm getting so much. It's very sharp feeling when I'm writing. It feels like it's really catching the paper. This Midori cotton pad, it does have a bit of texture to it anyway, but it just feels like I'm catching no matter what paper I'm on. So that's that Gin House Sharp. Next up, as I already advertised, is it? Oh, mentioned earlier, the Mahjong, when I bought it, the Moonman M800. This is the amber version. So very much like a Memento Zero. Bought this because I didn't want to spend a lot of money on a Memento Zero if I didn't like the shape and the size. Absolutely loved it. I've got all 4 colours of the M800s. That led me into Leonardo's, which led me into other Italian pens as well. So I've got quite a few Italian pens now. Cartridge converter. Not a lot of ink in here, which is a shame. It's a use me up month, so once this is dried, this is gone. The ink in here is Sleigh Ride. And then here I've got the bot version, the fine bot nib that came with it. Price wise, you're looking approximately 45 Aussie dollars. And then the ink, I love this ink. Let me just do a, not sure how well the sheen will show up. Let's see that. Absolutely gorgeous. We'll come and look at the sheen on this in a minute. So you can see that nice, to me it looks like a brownie base colour. Then we'll come and see the sheen in a second. So that was the Mahjong M800. Last up, we got the TWSBI Swipe in Smoke. Really weird cartridge converter type thing. Here in Australia, you only get the pump one. So it's taken me a bit of getting used to that. It's the first one with an actual pump. I've got a couple of Chinese pens which are like piston-y type ones with a pump, but that's the first actual non-Chinese, although you could argue TWSBI being from Taiwan. I'm not going into geopolitics. Here we've got the nib on there. So TWSBI Swipe with a medium. Price, you're looking at 46 Aussie dollars. The ink, this is another pen that I really, not another pen, another ink I actually do really like. So I know Teresa was asking earlier on, so this is another one I would recommend, this Diamine Spiced Apple. We'll take a short look at it. It's another chameleon ink. So if we take a look at these, so the Colorverse Pulsar Pulse, I'm hoping, just trying to make sure I'm in camera. There you go, I'm hoping that red sheen will come through. Gin House Shark, not seen a lot of the chameleon today because I was talking about saying how nice it is. The Mahjong M800 with that Diamine Sleigh Ride. Again, I'm trying to angle this. It's hard sometimes. Hopefully you can see this beautiful bright green sheen. There we go. I think I'd catch it there. And then like that reddy brown background. Absolutely love it. As I say, my favourite ink, full stop. And then the Spiced Apple. Not seeing a lot of it today. Maybe I hadn't agitated it enough. So we've got this beautiful dark red background, which reminds me, I've got some Bravo apples, and this very similar to the colour of the Bravo apple. But in there's this beautiful gold chameleon, and not really showing up much there. Let me just reach behind me. I'm just trying to find the right one. There we go. So this is some of my writing. You can certainly see, and this is cheapo paper. Hopefully you can see where that beautiful gold is coming through. I'm seeing loads of it with my eye. Whether it comes through on the camera, I'm not certain. Just trying to do my best to capture that. Very nice. I absolutely love it. So that what I've been showing, that's my writing that I do each day. I think, does that work? Never mind. And which I use when I create my shorts, just really so you got that background. So that's the pens of the week. Let's head on over and we'll jump back into the comments. Jim, that was very nice. That was nice and didn't blast my ears off. Brilliant. That's what I was hoping for. Ricardo, not loud, just right. Brilliant. Thank you. Blonde Scales 1, quieter than your previous title version. Yeah, I was just trying to play around with it. And when I was listening, I thought it needed to go down a little bit. Blonde Scales 1, I like it better. Cool, thanks for that. Let's have a mouthful of tea. Jim, Vinter website cancelled my order last week. I find them interesting and wanted to try out some hard to find colours. Any recommendation sites for ordering Vinter inks? Why did they tell you why they cancelled it? I've never tried Vinter inks. I think over here, from memory, Desk Bandit, I think it is, do Vinter inks. Just gonna try and look at their website, see where they're based. Bookbinders Design over here, they also do that. And they're made in the Philippines, so Filipino company. Let me just minimize this. The only Filipino inks I've tried are the Troublemaker. I've lost my mouse, there it is. And then it was only really samples. I did quite like them. Blonde Scales 1, Vanessa has a Vinter ink, so cool, there's a source for you in the US. Miss Marilyn Darling, hi everyone, hi Gary, welcome to you. David, we've got a hi, we've got a couple more highs. Let's just quickly click through them. Jim, cancelled order due to tariffs, do you think? That was my thought, but I don't know. Philippines, I don't think the tariffs were that bad from the Philippines, were they? But yeah, it's I hate it when they don't tell you. Teresa, another hello there, and we've got another hello. Jim, I doubt it was tariffs. Ordered early March, and when I contacted them, they cancelled. Thanks, Blonde Scales. Vanessa had 3 I wanted, so they are in my cart. I'm on a Sheen kick lately. Try Sleigh Ride. Oh, it's beautiful. Blonde Scales 1, you're welcome, Jim. David, Pen and Ink has some excellent perforated notebooks at Walmart. In the US, not sure what the UK and Aussie equivalents are, that are great with my fountain pens. The notebooks are about $5.50 US. So I haven't tried the Woolworths ones yet, which is one of our supermarket chains. And but I have tried the ones from Coles, which again is another supermarket chain, and the paper's all right, but it shows through very easily. We've got a lot of I get a lot of bleed through, so I can only use every other page. As I said, they're all right. I think they're about $6 full price. I've only ever got them when they've been cheap. So yeah, they do, but not the best. I've tried from Kmart, which is like a big box store. They have like their cheap El Cheapo ones, I'll call them, which I like, and they're like school notepads. I don't have any I can show you. No, just checking. Do you know, it's nice being able to turn around and still have the mic on me. No, I've got rid of them all. So one of the things I did at the start of this year, not sure if you can see it behind me, but my my theme for the year is GROW, which is stands for Generate, Renew, Optimize and Wind Up. And I had at the start of the month, I was looking at the wind up stuff and the optimize. And one of the things I thought was, you know, I've got loads and loads of notepads. I've got these really dirt cheap ones that I really truly don't enjoy writing with. So I gave them all away. We donated them all to Salvos, which is like an op shop or I can't remember what they're called. A charity shop is what you call them in the UK. I'm not sure what you call them in the States. I'm not going to stop buying cheap notepads. You know, I'll still do them. I'll record a review of them. And unless there's some real reason why I really like it, again, I'm not going to keep them. I'm going to pass them straight on, which is what I wasn't doing in the past. So yeah, I'm focusing a lot more on the nicer stuff. But what I'm really focusing on is, I've got here, this is my Star Wars planner that Elaine gave me. And I've got a hole punch now. You can see I was experimenting because I've got holes all over the page. So I've just finished using 52 GSM and 68 GSM Tomoe River from a sampler pack. The front, getting the camera, I've got Irrifull paper. And then going back from a sampler pack, the paper I'm using this week is Corona 52 GSM. So here we go. You can see where I've jotted down some notes. And then I've got a few other ones from sampler packs. So this is what I'm actually focusing on. It takes A5 loose leaf paper. So I do have my notepads that I use for my videos. So, you know, you've seen this one. We've got the Apica notebook. We've got the Rhodia notebook. I've got a Rhodia A5, I've got an Ayush paper, I've got my Oxford Optic paper. And that's what I'm really focusing on. So yeah, I'm not going to stop buying the cheaper papers, but not ready to use. Unless, of course, they do actually perform well. Marilyn, oh no, that's not cute. David, the paper quality on these pen and ink notebooks are very surprisingly high. Blonde Scales 1, I like the pen and gear notebooks, but when I want A5 size, I love Coffee Note. From memory, with the pen and gear ones, you need to check to make sure that they're made in Vietnam, because the Vietnam ones are the ones which are better, but that's only from what I've heard from other people. Kiss my ear, evening all, or good morning to you, should I say. It's what, doing maths in my head, 2:15 in the morning. Oh, pardon me. To Jim, I've been using the A5 journals that are not bad. And Jim bought a B7 Transect notebook from Papermind. Great paper and binding, and advertised as Cosmo Air Light replacement. Awesome. I'll have to keep an eye on that. Papermind B7 Transect. Just making a note. I don't make notes as I go along, I forget. Blonde Scales 1, trying to build my hoard of them when I order from Cult Pens. Yeah, I used to get my Oxford Optic paper from Cult Pens. They used to sell black and red, but for some reason they stopped doing that. So I've moved away from Oxford Optic paper. I can get it here, but not in A5 size, which is a shame. Marilyn, hi Kiss My, and hi Jim. Blonde Scales 1, Exceed ones are nice, but I like spiral bound. I say for me, I'm getting into this, well, it's a planner, I think they call it, but I always refer to it as a file of facts. I know that's a brand. Absolutely love it. I say it gives me so much flexibility. And all I'm doing now, I've got one here. Yeah, this was the last of the 68 GSM Tomoe River. You know, you can see what I'm using, how I use it. I scribble out when I'm done. It just gets thrown in the bin. Or if it's got something like phone numbers or anything like that, it just goes into the shredding pile. Jim, hi there to Marilyn. And then Marilyn, as long as they're not made in the USA, because paper made here absolutely sucks. You can refresh the comments again. Yeah, I said Australian paper. I did get one one notepad which was an Australian one. It wasn't cheap, and it was advertised as fountain pen friendly. I'm trying to work out how I can put this politely, because it was so bad. It was so bad. Even a fine nib would bleed through. It was just awful. Worst paper I've ever used, I would say. So much so that in the end I threw it out. I didn't even bother carrying on with it because it was awful. It was absolutely awful. And I think I've got a video on about it as well, saying how awful it is. Anyway, Garry gets off soapbox. Just checking for time. Let's head on over to the presentation. Let me get it up first. So what videos have I had and what's coming up? Keynote. There we go. I should do some little intro slides for all of these, really. Something to play around with. I like playing around. So last week's videos. On Monday, we had the Hondian Steel First Impressions. Fairly, I'm not going to say inexpensive pen, but yeah, it's not bad. Wednesday was my pens in use wrap up. So that's how I went with the videos, with the pens I used in April. A very hard month, that one, because I loved all of them. This month is a use me up month. So I've already used up the Lamy Safari, and then by the look of it, a couple of those pens may be finished up this week. Whole idea, you use up pens, don't refill them, clean them out and fetch in another pen, just to reduce the number of inked pens that I've got, because I've got loads of them. And then Saturday, that was a members Ask Me Anything. And I also published the Ask Me Anything from November to everybody. So it's there if you want to go and watch it. I know I've seen that, I think it was 74 views it had. Didn't perform very well. I didn't expect it to. But that's there where I answer 3 questions that have been asked. If you've got any questions you'd like me to put into an Ask Me Anything, just send them to me. Either drop them in a chat, drop them in as a comment, send me an email, put them on Discord, however you want to do it, just let me know. Next week's videos. So tomorrow, Monday, is a Pens by Casey First Impressions. So this was the gift pen that I received a couple of weeks ago. I'll just fetch it out and show you. Here we go. Which camera shall I use? Let's go to the iPhone and move all this out of the way. There we go. This is Pens by Casey. I think it's Toko. Begins with a T. Tokobetsu or something like that. It's gorgeous, very nice. Also going to be using it as my pen of the week for the next week. It's very nice. So that's first impressions of that coming up. Let's head back to Safari. Not Safari, Keynote, isn't it? There we go. Wednesday, that's my my May ink comparisons. So that's where I was saying I'm looking at Pure Pens, John Frost, and that other one. I think it was Colourverse Dante's Cosmology. Very different colours, but still quite a nice comparison. And then Friday, I haven't recorded it yet. I'm recording it tomorrow. Again, this was something that was asked a few weeks ago. I'll go to the webcam. I'm going to do a follow-up on these. These are the Kinball planners that I've got. So I'll look at how I'm using them or not using them, how I feel about the paper, things like that. So that will be coming up on Friday, and I'm recording that tomorrow. Back to Keynote. So my books of the week. I finished my final Terry Pratchett book. So I've finished Dodger. So that's my Terry Pratchett reread, done, dusted, out the door. Really enjoy it. It was, slightly different. It was, based a bit on historical stuff, but not exactly, because obviously Dodger isn't a person. It was a nice take on the Dodger, on the Artful Dodger story, and yeah, it was really enjoyable. And then I've started Terry Goodkind Nest. So I've read all his fantasy books, and this is the first of 4 books. I think it's called Jack Rains is the series. Very, very different than his normal books, or what normal, other books. This is more of a crime, a thriller, set on Earth, set in modern times. There is a little bit of a fantasy twist to it, but not really in your face. I'm 60% of the way through it and enjoying it. I say I should get that finished during the week. Then after that, I've got, again, it's an author I'm coming back to, is Anne Cleeves. Anne Cleeves is the one who is the lady who wrote the Vera books and also the Shetland books. And I'll be coming back to the first of the Shetland series. So that's the things that I've been reading. Let me close these down, then I can get back to the chat. Marilyn Darling, better as toilet paper. I wouldn't even have used it for toilet paper, I've got to be honest. Not even for fire paper. Wow, and then same. So that's talking about the papers. Jim, I think green papers don't make good fountain pen papers. Any green fountain pen friendly paper? Not that I can think of. Yeah, not that I can think of. Marilyn, this week I inked up some bottles that I had from Private Reserve. Yeah, I see that you didn't have much luck with the noodlers ones, I believe. Was that from yesterday or the day before I watched that? I can't remember when it was. Poor memory's going. Ron, belated greetings from Forest Hills. Welcome to you, Ron. Still on my medical journey, now sporting a brand spanking new biventricular piercing device. Pens keep me sane. I know what you mean. I've got here, it's a ICD, internal cardiac defibrillator. Thank God I've got it, because if not, I'd be dead. About a year ago, it was in there, and I'd had some issues with some medications. I'd had surgery to try and help with that. 2 weeks after the surgery, it fired 11 times in half an hour. My heart rate at one time had gone up to 230. And yeah, chances are, if I hadn't have had this resetting my heart all them times, I'd have been dead. So yeah, I know what you mean by pacing devices. Jim, green meaning eco-friendly. Yeah. David, Gary, when's the next Zoom chat? Let me just check. I have got it scheduled in my planner. Just pulling that up now, I can tell you. So at the moment, it's set up for Saturday the 17th. And it'll be on Discord rather than Zoom. Now, one of the things, I don't know if I'll do this, it's one of the things I'm thinking about, is I know that with the current, certainly with the current times, it's very difficult for people in the UK. So normally I'm sat at my desk between 4 and 5 o'clock, most days, just doing bits of work. So what I'm toying with is maybe on one of these days is starting up a Discord chat. So it'll be very ad hoc, and then just, you know, leaving it open for the whole hour. And if people come in, they come in. If they don't, that's fine. So it's just something I'm thinking about. So 4 o'clock our time is 9 AM in the UK. Not quite sure what time it would be in the US. I think 4 o'clock in the morning, something like that. So just something I'm thinking about for, like, you know, where essentially non-US time zones. David, excuse me, Discord. Yep, that's cool. Blonde Scales 1, the coffee notes are at least partly recycled coffee cups. Up onto the Ribena now. And we've got Groku here. Got to have Groku on May the 4th. David, I can relate. I've got a built-in defibrillator in my chest and it gets itchy sometimes. Yeah, I have that as well. Had open heart surgery to correct a birth defect in 2023 after almost dying from the defect. Yeah, amazing what they can do nowadays, isn't it? Marilyn, noodlers are the worst lately. I found one or two that aren't bleedy or ghosty, but they are few and far between. Marilyn pacemaker. Yeah, I'd say when I had it put in, let me just go back. When I had mine put in, one of the cardiac nurses said it's an ICD, which I say is that internal cardiac defibrillator. She said, but what they talk about, how they describe it, it's an I can't die device. And I say, really, I can't say enough about it. I went to a fast food shop, not fast food, kebab shop. I had a kebab a few weeks ago, and the bloke saw I had a watch on, Apple Watch. And he said to me, I can give you 5 reasons why you shouldn't wear that. And I said to him, well, before you start, let me tell you this. I can give you 1 reason I can, why I should wear it. It saved my life. This is how I picked up my heart problems. You know, I was out for a walk, and when I was out for a walk, I used to try and aim for between 70 and 80 for my heart rate. And I was nearly home, and it jumped up to 150, and it stayed there for about an hour. We went to the hospital because we thought this isn't right. By the time I'd got to the hospital, it had come down to normal, so they couldn't actually detect anything. But a number of times it was the watch which told me there was something wrong with my heart, and eventually they were able to catch it and work out what it was. So yeah, he shut up after that. Dennis, welcome to you, Dennis. My wife says hello. I got her a new purple Tuzu. She loves it. Yeah, I haven't seen many Tuzus over here. That's something, again, I will eventually look at getting. Same with the swipe, which I've not had that long. I hold off, and I will eventually get them. I might actually ask Elaine to see if she can get one and put it away for my Inky Countdown this year. Teresa, I just finished Manifold Time by Stephen Baxter, a dystopian sci-fi book that will mess with your head. It features people getting messages from the future. Wow. Wow, that sounds quite interesting. I'm not overly into sci-fi. I think I have read a couple of Stephen Baxter books. Can't remember which ones though. It would have been a while ago. David, Gary, I've got the exact same thing in my chest. Does yours itch? Yeah, it does. It itches quite often, and I think in my head I get pains around here. But again, I think that is in my head. I am on treatment for PTSD from everything that happened with my heart, so that has helped a bit. Blonde Scales 1. My dad had bypass surgery in 2010 and got a pacemaker last year. I think they're wonderful. Marilyn, the last time I reviewed a green ink, it didn't go over well. It was very bleedy and ghosty. I do like green inks, but that's just me. I like my brown inks. I'm amazed how much. Teresa, to David, how do you deal with an internal itch and wanting to scratch just hearing about it? I just gently scratch around it, and that usually it's not so much internal but external, and say I get what I'm calling phantom pains. Blonde Scales 1, 9 AM UK would be 3 AM Central US. I'll say I'm not guaranteeing I'm going to do it, just something I'm thinking about. We got, I think, is that meant to be? I'm not very good with emojis. Is that a heart emoji? Marilyn, I'm just glad you're okay. Heart problems are the worst, absolutely. And it's also because people don't see it, so they don't know the issues you're having. David, I'm very thankful to God that mine is there. I truly got an I think that's undeserved second chance, and I plan to make the most of it. Absolutely, completely with you on that. Marilyn, I thought you had a Twisby swipe. Yep, that's there we go. Only had it about a month. Not too bad, quite enjoying it. I wish I'd got one earlier. I have got a video. I haven't recorded it yet, but I will be soon. I can't remember when. Where I'm going to actually compare the swipe and the Eco, the VAX 700R and the Diamond 580. Marilyn, sorry I meant green paper. Then we got a heart. Kiss my, damn it, Gary. Glad you're okay, but it's hard handing a win to Tim Apple. It is, and I think there is some Google ones that you can get, and there's like them smart health bands. So there's a number of things. he was making a comment more about electronic devices as a whole. Marilyn, I told you you'd like the swipe. Yeah, you did. You'd been saying for so long. And I'm glad I did. And yeah, I wish they gave you the converter. In a way, I'm glad they didn't, because it's nice having that something a bit different, which I'm actually quite enjoying. So, they're $4 from Twisby. Yeah. You should. Yeah, I'm not. Reach out and see if they can get one. Yeah, I say I might do, but I'm not overly fussed about it, because it's nice actually trying something different. Okay, whilst I'm going to go slightly off topic, two things. One, I know I mentioned it, I think, quickly last week, but I don't think Marilyn was there. Star Trek Discovery coming back in June. Not Discovery, Star Trek. Oh, anyway, it's the one where we've got the Enterprise, we've got Spock, we've got Una and Number One, and we've got Captain Pike. Looking forward to that coming back. Doctor Who. Not sure how many of you watch Doctor Who. I'm not going to spoil it by saying what happened, but every week I think, wow, that's one of the best episodes. Last week when I spoke to my daughter, I said, it's the best episode of Doctor Who I've watched. I thought, yep, it is. It's not bad. This week, the episode knocked that out of the frame. I would say this week's is the best one. Oh, absolutely loving this series of Doctor Who. So if you haven't watched it, start of season 2. You'll soon get into it. I think we're only either 3 or 4 episodes in. Wow, it is absolutely brilliant. Really, really impressed. I know there's lots of things flying around that they might cancel it or put it on a sabbatical. I hope they don't, because if they carry on like this, wow, wow, wow. Inertia 4, yeah, I've got a defibrillator also. I've also have 2 stents as well. My doctor told me it's like having a doctor in my chest. I've had it now since 2018, and lucky it never went off. Wow, yeah. I mean, I've had it's went off on 2 different occasions. The first one I could explain. It was a couple of years ago. We were putting up Christmas decorations, and I'd been fetching stuff in from the garage. Now, although I wasn't pushing myself, I was sweating. So I think that might have been related to that, so I could explain it. But the one about this time, well, yeah, about 11 months ago, I was in bed asleep and it woke me up, so I can't explain it. But I say 11 times in half an hour. I have never been so frightened in my life, I will tell you that. And I know we had a little bit of a gap in lives because I just couldn't do anything. It was really, really, really scary. But I'm glad I had it. Blonde Scales 1, I want more swipe colours. Yeah, they might do that, hopefully. I know they keep doing all these eco colours, but, you know, I'm not really bothered about them. Marilyn, A Strange New Worlds, brilliant, thank you for that. And then there's another one coming out later I think it's later this year, based about around Starfleet Academy. And some of the people that they've got lined up in that, they've got Tilly from Discovery. I think she's going to be in some of them. They've got Robert Picardo, who plays the Doctor in Voyager. Looking forward to that. Marilyn, can't wait. So excited. Pardon me. I'm hoping they'll release some pop vinyls, because there's been quite a few Star Trek pop vinyls coming out lately. Elaine's told me I'm not allowed to buy them, but yeah, hopefully if they come out with those, I might be able to persuade her, but you can never tell. Marilyn, Captain Pike, so cute. I quite like the, I can't remember her name, the one who drives the ship. A bit of a hard-ass type character, I quite like that. Kiss My wasn't a fan of the musical episode, you're not the only one. I thought it was absolutely ridiculous. Really, but that's just me. And I don't mind musicals, but yeah, not in Star Trek. Marilyn, yeah, they need a good purple swipe. Yeah, that'd be nice. Like a, what I would say like a royal purple, like the purple you see royalty wearing, that'd be nice. Blonde Scales 1, yes, yeah. Okay, let's have a refresh. Jim, you don't like sci-fi, but like Star Trek. Interesting. I know. I don't know what it is about sci-fi books. I like fantasy books. I absolutely love fantasy books. I mean, I do read sci-fi from time to time, but Star Trek, since being little, I mean, I'm talking like 5, 6 years old, obviously watching reruns of the original Star Trek, all I wanted to do was work with computers like Mr. Spock. That's how much of an impact it's had on my life. And it was Star Trek, you know, and wanting to work with computers like Mr. Spock, which drove me down into computer science. My bachelor's degree is in computer science. That's all I've ever wanted to do. And I like Star Wars, but between Star Trek and Star Wars, if I could only watch one, it's hands down Star Trek. Absolutely love Star Trek. Have done, as I say, since I was about 5 or 6. So yeah. Blonde Scales 1, she might be getting you some for December. That's what I'm hoping. I do point them out to her, but that's what I'm hoping. But every time I point them out, she says, no, you are not having them. So yeah, hopefully that's a nice little hint. Marilyn, the musical could have been better. Yeah, I don't mind musicals. It's not the genre I would expect to see as a musical. Teresa, don't get started on pops. It's almost as much as an addiction as fountain pens. It is. I've got now, I'm looking at them, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19 pop vinyls in front of me. How can I best show them? Right, you might get a bit seasick. I'm going to pick up the camera I'm talking to you on. Whoops. There you are. Nice look there. There we go. I've got 2, the first 2 that I got where I don't have the boxes. I thought I did. I've put all of the rest back in the boxes. It's very dusty here, so it protects them. So there's the top 2 rows. They're all Star Trek pop vinyls. Down at the bottom, I've got one by himself, Marvin the Martian. I like Marvin the Martian. And then we've got various other Star Wars bits there. So that's opposite my desk. So I'm looking at them all day, every day. Let me pop the camera back, hopefully without causing too much seasickness. Apart from Marvin the Martian, I have said to my wife, if I do buy any, I'm only buying Star Trek. I don't want to start buying Star Wars and Marvel ones, because if I do that, it bankrupts me because there's so many. And I'm a bit of a completionist. Yeah, so many of them. Marilyn or Dark Lilac. Wow, yeah, Dark Lilac would be nice. Especially if you then used that Lamy Dark Lilac ink in it. Jim, I got a purple Jinhao 159. Yeah, I've got a blue and silver one. Again, I've got 2, so I've not really worried too much. Blonde Scales 1, he's already started on them. Yeah, that's why I thought I'd give you a quick look. Marilyn, it was Dr. Lennon McCoy and Beverly Crusher for me, and then I went into the medical field. Awesome. It's nice hearing that other people are like me, where you have that thing where a TV show can really affect how you move forward in life. Marilyn, all cute. I think that's for the pop vinyls. Ricardo, purple is out. Eco transparent purple is out now. Teresa, you have them very nicely displayed. I have Harry Potter pops. Yeah, the one I've got them displayed on is it's actually a shoe rack. It's 4 shoe racks, so I've got 2 on each side. We wanted white because most of the furniture in here is white, and then I don't mind the pine look because most of my wooden stuff in here is like you see with my desk mat, so it's like a bamboo-y piney colour, and it fits all nice together. I used to have them here behind me, but I could never see them because they were behind me, so that's why they're over there. Jim, I've got the Eco Tea in eggplant purple. Do you know, every time I hear eggplant, it takes me back to the a Kath and Kim episode where Kim was was redecorating, and she'd done the walls white, and I think the trims, sorry, the walls yellow and the trims white. And Kath walked in and said, "Oh, very nice eggplant." You know, that really tickled me. I'm just good at talking about stuff like that. So I think, yep, I'll come back to the things. I'll do my outros, and we'll come back and have one final look. So thank you all for your time. I love doing these. We're just over an hour today. As you can see on my watch, I'm checking there. Oops. I actually do have here, I know it's upside down. That tracks my heart rate every 10 minutes, so I know if I've got a problem. So yeah, absolutely love doing these. Please hit that thumbs up button every time you like, every time you comment. It just helps with the YouTube algorithm. Please drop any comments you've got down below, either in the live chat if you're here, or after the vid afterwards. Drop the comments down there. I say one of the things I'd like is some questions for my Ask Me Anythings. I think I've got 2 questions left, so I'm going to have to come up with some new questions over the next few weeks. So please send them in. I'd love to get on with that. Membership's available. Everything that comes in from memberships goes towards supporting the channel, which is why I was able to get the right side. This is a problem on my preview screen. The mic's over here, whereas in real life it's here. I have to remember to get them the wrong way around. Membership's there. Members get early access to most of my videos. We've got the members only Discord chat. We've got the members only Ask Me Anything, which will then get published after 6 months onto the public feed. And, you know, I'm trying to think about other things I can do with members too. But it's just there. It's just for, you know, as I say, helping support the channel, because everything is very much appreciated. That's why I can afford to get so many pens, you know, and keep the channel going. Head back to the comments. Marilyn, all I've ever wanted for the medical field was one medicine for everything. I bet you have. That would be nice. I was collecting some of my tablets the other week, and a bloke said to me, "Well, that's a lot." And I said, "Yeah, but that's only half of them. I have about 15 tablets that I take every day." It's a bit ridiculous. Inertia 4, who here is into classic rock? How about we talk about rock and roll and pens? I think they make a good combination. I will put that down as a future topic. Biggest one that I would say I'm into is Dire Straits and Mark Knopfler, who was the lead of Dire Straits. Absolutely love it. I did at one time have everything they put out. Left most of that back in the UK, so that's in someone's loft if they haven't sold it. I told them they could, because I'm not going back. And now we've got streaming, who needs it? So yeah, Dire Straits and Mark Knopfler. I've seen them in concert a couple of times. Unfortunately, they've done... last couple of tours he's done, I don't even think he's come to Australia. But yeah, in the UK, I've seen him in concert a couple of times. Really, really good. I saw one concert where they had Mark Knopfler with Eric Clapton playing the second guitar, and then they swapped, you know, kept swapping. Oh, that was awesome. Blonde Scales 1 pill to cure them all. Absolutely. Kiss My, even the time is upside down, down under. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's a bit topsy-turvy down here. Teresa, I love 80s rock, but no rock pens. Blonde Scales 1, 80s and older for music. I'm gonna pull it out. Oops, sorry, I've just knocked the other mic. Here we go. This pen here, I know it's a kit pen. It's made of rocks that have been ground up and then mixed with resin to make this. Let me go to the iPhone camera, you might be able to see it better. There we go. I bought this from Fremantle Market. So yeah, I've got a rock pen. Pardon me. Ricardo, thank you for the live and have a great week, everyone. Blonde Scales 1, have a great week all. Jim, start with the late 50s into the 70s. Teresa, it was fun. Good night all. Marcy me, hello friends. Hi Marcy, sorry we're wrapping up. Kiss My Early Dire Straits class. One of my favourite songs, Romeo and Juliet and Telegraph Road. They're the two that I really, really like. Teresa, oh Dire Straits, you were so lucky to see them going home. Yeah, I remember the last concert I saw them in. They opened with Calling Elvis. Wow, what an awesome opening. Marilyn, that would be one heavy pen if it were made of rocks. That's beautiful. Yeah, it is. It's a stunning looker, but it's because it's been a kit pen. I quite like it. It's just I find that I have to be careful because it can sometimes be a bit thin. Marilyn, thank you for the live. See you all next week. Hopefully take care. Hi to Marcy Me. Inertia 4, I'm a big Kiss fan. I've seen them in concert from 1978 until the Psycho Circus tour in early 2000s. I have 3 Kiss Retro 51 pens. Awesome. Oh, that's awesome. David, hey Marcy. Blonde Skills 1, wouldn't your Visconti technically be a rock pen too? Well, yeah, because that's what it is. It's rock that's been mixed with some resin. Brilliant point there. I forgot about that one. Marcy Me, good night all. David, blessings to everyone. Have a great week. David, money for nothing and your pens for free. Oh, I love that. That is awesome. Oh, that's so good. So there's no more comments at the moment. I'll leave the comments open whilst the outro is playing. But thank you all for your time. As I keep saying, I love doing these. And I'll talk to you again soon.